Have you ever felt like a doormat? Like you're constantly putting others first, only to feel drained and disrespected. It's a common feeling, but it's not a life sentence. The ancient Stoics knew a thing or two about inner strength and self-respect, and their wisdom is more relevant today than ever. In this video, we're diving deep into the Stoic guide to reclaiming your self-respect, setting unbreakable boundaries, and mastering your emotional world. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about building a solid foundation of self-worth that no one can shake. So, why do we lose self-respect in the first place? Often, it starts subtly. We say yes when we mean no to avoid conflict. We base our self-worth on external validation, likes on social media, compliments from a boss, or the approval of a partner. The Stoics would say this is a critical error. We're handing over the keys to our happiness to things and people outside of our control. Epictetus warned us. What ought one to say then is each hardship comes. I was practicing for this. I was training for this. When you don't train your mind to value itself, every little rejection or criticism feels like a major blow. You start to believe you're only as good as what others think of you. This dependency is the root cause of lost self-respect. It's a slow erosion of your inner fortress, leaving you vulnerable and insecure. We also lose respect for ourselves when our actions don't align with our values. Every time you betray your own principles to please someone else, you chip away at your integrity. That little voice in your head that says, "I shouldn't have done that," gets louder, and self-doubt begins to grow. The Stoic path is about aligning your actions with a virtuous inner compass, regardless of external pressures. This brings us to one of the most crucial concepts in building self-respect: boundaries. Think of boundaries not as walls to keep people out, but as fences to protect your inner garden. They define where you end and others begin. Without them, people will inevitably trample all over your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being. A Stoic approach to boundaries isn't about aggressive confrontation. It's about calm, rational assertion of your own needs and limits. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of setting boundaries. You can't control how others will react, but you can control your own response. You can control whether you say yes to another late night at work when you're re-exhausted, or whether you let a friend's negativity drain your spirit. How do you do this practically? Start small. Identify one area where you feel your boundaries are weak. Is it with a particular person? A specific situation? Then calmly and clearly state your limit. You don't need a long, dramatic explanation. A simple, "I'm not able to help with that right now," or "I need to focus on my own well-being, so I won't be able to join," is enough. Remember, no is a complete sentence. The first few times you do this, it will feel uncomfortable. You might feel guilty. This is normal. It's the old programming trying to pull you back. But as Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Each time you honor your boundaries, you're doing a rep for your self-respect muscle. You are teaching yourself and others that your needs matter. You are demonstrating that you value your own time and energy. This is a profound act of self-care and self-respect. The next pillar is emotional discipline. The Stoics didn't believe in suppressing emotions. That's a common misconception. Instead, they believed in understanding them and choosing not to be ruled by them. They saw emotions like anger, jealousy, and despair as the result of flawed judgments. You don't get angry because someone cut you off in traffic. You get angry because you judge that event as a personal offense. You don't feel worthless because someone criticized you. You feel worthless because you judge their opinion as a reflection of your true value. The key is to insert a pause between the event and your reaction. This is the space where you can apply reason. When you feel a powerful negative emotion rising, ask yourself, is this event within my control? Is this person's opinion a fact, or just a judgment? Is reacting with intense emotion going to serve me? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly to choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This emotional discipline is directly tied to self. When you're emotionally reactive, you give away your power. You let external events dictate your inner state. You appear unstable to yourself and to others. But when you can remain calm and centered in the face of challenges, you demonstrate an inner strength that commands respect, most importantly from yourself. You prove to yourself that you are the master of your own mind, not a slave to your fleeting feelings. This creates a deep sense of confidence and stability. You begin to trust your own ability to handle whatever life throws at you, and that trust is the bedrock of genuine self-respect. So, let's get practical. How can you start applying these Stoic principles today? Here are a few exercises. First, the practice of premeditation malferm, or the premeditation of evils. This sounds grim, but it's incredibly empowering. Each morning, take a moment to imagine things that could go wrong during your day. Someone might be rude to you. You might face a setback at work. You might get stuck in traffic. By mentally preparing for these things, you rob them of their power to shock and upset you. When they happen, you can meet them with a calm, "I was prepared for this," rather than an emotional meltdown. This builds resilience and self-reliance. Second, practice the view from above. When you're feeling overwhelmed by a problem, imagine yourself floating up, looking down on your life from a great height. See your house, your city, your country, the entire planet. From this perspective, how big does your problem really seem? This exercise helps you gain perspective and detach from the immediate emotional intensity of a situation. It reminds you that most of our daily worries are, in the grand scheme of things, quite small. This detachment helps you make more rational and therefore more self-respecting decisions. Third, keep a journal. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions. When did you act in line with your values? When did you fail to? Where did you successfully set a boundary? Where did you let one slide? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about self-awareness and continuous improvement. As Seneca advised, when the light has been taken away and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by. This daily audit strengthens your character and reinforces your commitment to living a life you can respect. Finally, practice voluntary discomfort. Once in a while, choose to be a little uncomfortable. Take a cold shower, skip a meal, or leave your phone at home for a day. Why? Because this trains you to be less dependent on comfort and pleasure. You prove to yourself that you can endure hardship, which builds incredible mental toughness. When you know you can handle discomfort, you become less fearful of life's challenges. You're no longer afraid of the consequences of setting a boundary or speaking your truth, because you know you can handle whatever discomfort may follow. Building self-respect is not a one-time fix, it's a daily practice. It's about making conscious choices, moment by moment, to honor yourself, your values, and your time. It's about understanding what is within your control and what is not, and focusing all your energy on the former. By setting firm boundaries, practicing emotional discipline, and engaging in these practical Stoic exercises, you can gradually rebuild your inner fortress. You'll stop seeking validation from the outside world because you'll have found it within yourself. You will become your own source of strength, stability, and respect. This is the freedom the Stoics promised, and it's available to every one of us. If this video helped you rethink your standards, subscribe for more Stoic lessons. Thank you for watching.